About either sciatic nerve pain or piriformis syndrome, and how to get ourselves a little bit of pain relief from this. We're going to use the yoga tune-up balls, and it's two separate kind of firm but balls that have some give. They're in this little bag. We can use it both inside of the bag and outside. The first thing we're going to do is, come closer. We're going to start with on the side that you're having the most pain. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the piriformis. Piriformis, it's a muscle that goes from the greater trochanter of the femur, or basically the top of your thigh bone. So you can feel where that is right here, and runs along kind of the top of your butt to your tailbone, or to your sacrum. So it runs right along here. It is primarily, it has a lot of different jobs, but primarily it is involved with external rotation of the femur or of the thigh. So it's going to look, it does this movement here. Okay. So what we want to do, the sciatic nerve runs from your spine, L5, L4, down, and it runs under the piriformis. So if that piriformis is shortened or tight, it can cause a lot of pressure and irritation to that sciatic nerve, and then that's where we get, what we now know as sciatic nerve syndrome, or piriformis syndrome, or sciatica. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is, it's starting to rain, so there's a little bit of background noise here, but what we're going to do next is we're going to take the tune-up balls, and we're going to put it directly under our piriformis. Okay, we can do it sitting up. Okay, so make sure you get it high. We don't have to be way down low down here. We're going to be up a little bit high. Okay, so we're going to set it in place. Okay, put a little bit of pressure on there. Then we're going to take that same leg and set it on top of the other knee. So now I'm kind of exposing or shortening that piriformis so that we can get some good pressure on there. Now I'm going to work kind of back and forth a little bit here and start working it out. Now I don't have to sit here and roll really hard and fast on it. I'm just going to get some pressure. I'm regulating the amount of pressure I'm using by how much weight I have on my hands. So as it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, so do what you can stand, but as you're able to stand a little bit more, take a little bit of pressure off your hands and put a little more on these balls themselves. Okay, so I'm just kind of working around a little bit back and forth, and I'm going to work from that hip bone, or from the top of my thigh on the side all the way over. And I can kind of lift up and adjust all the way over to my tailbone. And on the tailbone, I can kind of work the same area. Okay, so I'm just working back and forth there. Okay, I would spin on and off, in 1 minute intervals, 5, 6, 7 minutes on it at a time if you can handle it. Don't forget to do the other side, but of course you can focus on the side that's giving you the most pain. Okay, next. We're going to take this and we're going to place it to where the gap between the two balls is right where our tailbone is, or right around this area. Okay? And I'm going to lay back on it. Okay? So I'm laying back. I have the other tune-up balls right under my tailbone. And so from here, I'm just going to work back and forth a little bit, kind of work on getting a little bit of loosening. Okay, and now especially on that same side, I'm going to start working that knee down. Okay, just like that, and kind of adjustment until you find where that spot is kind of the tightest or the most uncomfortable. Okay, we'll kind of work around on that. Okay, work back and forth. This may be also a little bit more comfortable of a position. We can get a little bit less weight on it while starting off. to get that same roll that we just did, okay? So I'm right here and I'm working all the way down. So that can be an alternative movement for that. Okay, next, we're gonna do a little bit of flossing of the nerve itself. Basically, we're taking the nerve, if you think about it, it's gonna run from, basically the base of your skull or your brainstem, all the way down to your foot, right? So it is a continuous. It has a continuous path all the way down there. Now it does have some branches and whatnot, but it's not really important. What we are trying to do is get a little bit of movement of the nerve through that path, okay, by flossing. So what we're gonna do, we can sit on kind of on the edge of a chair, where we have one leg up, okay. It can be on the stool, it doesn't matter. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the position where it's going to have the most slack. So I'm going to tilt my head back, bring my leg up, and point my toes straight up. Not out like this, but I'm pointing my toes straight to the sky. Okay, then I'm going to tighten it. Okay, so that means I'm going to bring that leg down. All right, correct. I'm going to point my toe, bend that knee, and bring my foot kind of behind me, and then bring my head down. Okay, then I'm going to go head back up, same order, head back up, knee back up, toe back up. Okay, so then point the toe, bring it down, and I'm just going to continue to do that, get about 20 to 30 repetitions per side, per day. Okay. What else? Okay, so those will definitely be a good start to start getting a little bit of relief. May come back with some more stuff later, but that's going to be what we're going to start with. So those exercises right there. Okay. Have fun. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do a stretch. It's going to stretch your piriformis. So that same muscle that runs from top of the greater from the greater trochanter to the top of the femur across to our tailbone. Okay. What we're going to do here is it's going to be kind of a variation of our pigeon pose, the yoga pose. Okay. But we're going to use a chair or a stool or an ottoman or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our knee, bring it up. We're going to set it down to where our shin is down. Okay? Now, here, I'm just going to put one hand on top of my leg, and now I'm going to try to set my hip. I'm going to try to set my hip all the way. Notice my foot is hanging. Okay? I'm going to set my hip all the way down to the chair. Okay, now from here, this is where I can start to work on the stretch. I want to hold this knee down. So it's going to be a little bit self-regulating. So now I'm just going to work kind of in almost like a sprinkler, just kind of back and forth, going forward, coming back up. Okay, so I don't really have to hold anything yet. What I'm going to do first is just kind of loosen it. Okay, just kind of loosen things a little bit and work around. Okay, get a little bit of loosening there. Okay, now I can find the spots that whatever I found doing that that's really, really tight. Then I can kind of go forward and just kind of take some air into your belly. Blow it out and relax. Air into the belly. And relax. Do that for 30, 45 seconds up to a minute. Then come up, find another tight spot. Do the same thing. So what that's going to do is just kind of open up that capsule a little bit of the joint, and maybe get a little bit of relief there on for the piriformis. Maybe get a little bit of lengthening. Now let's talk about some of the reasons why it could be a problem. Okay, one of the main ones, and if you've ever come to my gym, you'll hear me talk to my athletes a lot about doing everything athletically. Okay, which would mean keeping our toes forward. When we start to turn our toes out doing anything, whether it's standing, whether it's trying to do anything athletic, we start to get some navicular drop in there, and there's some issues that can happen up and downstream. I say navicular drop, I mean we talk about our flat feet, people who have flat feet. It's because their navicular bone, which sits about right here, is sitting on the floor. So that's what I mean by navicular drop. The navicular bone is not supposed to be a weight-bearing surface, although it may be in some people. It is something that is correctable. But that's something that you often see with people who have who stand or do things with their toes turned out. Okay, so we want to start making a very conscious effort of, if we're standing, walking, doing anything, that we have our toes forward, and our feet are basically under our lungs. Okay, they may be hip width apart, and our toes are forward. Okay, if we catch ourselves kind of standing around, just kind of hanging out like this or like that, that's going to end up it could end up causing some problems, hips, knees, feet, whatever the case may be. We may start feeling something in our lower back. Okay, so if we're here, toes forward, okay, we don't have to be like tightened way down, but slightly braced in our abs and slightly engaged in our glutes or in our butt. Okay, so our butt doesn't have to be squeezed super tight, but having a little bit of just a little bit of engagement there. Okay, that's gonna kind of give us that good standing position. It's gonna help us kind of set our posture even upstream to where our shoulders are going to be in a better position. Okay, it's a better position to think, talk, teach, really do anything. Okay, kind of as modern humans sitting at desks, we'll kind of start slumping. Then we drive, and then we text, and then we do all that kind of stuff. So we want to be in a better position, the way we're created to stand. Okay, so we're going to stand toes forward. Okay, slightly engaged in our abs and in our glutes, and make a conscious effort to do that. Because if we are standing duck-footed or with our feet turned out, that is turning that greater trochanter, the top of our thigh, it's turning it slightly out, right? So it's shortening that piriformis. And if it's chronically shortened, well, our body kind of decides, hey, that's the length it needs to be. So it shortens itself. So then when we do actually turn our leg back to where it should normally be, that's tightened down. Then it could be possibly putting some pressure on that sciatic nerve. Okay, so that's something to think about is having our toes forward, chest up, tighten our abs,